It's 3 a.m. at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Suddenly, everything bursts into motion. 6 of America's most powerful stealth bombers, each worth over $1 billion, are being prepped for a top-secret mission. These aren't just any planes. They're B-2 Spirit bombers, ghosts of the sky that can slip past enemy radar without a sound. But what happened next shocked military experts worldwide. 30% of America's entire stealth bomber fleet suddenly vanished from U.S. soil and reappeared 8,000 miles away on a tiny island in the Indian Ocean. While the world watched headlines about tensions in the Middle East, something much bigger was happening behind the scenes. A high-stakes game of power between global superpowers that could reshape the region. But the real twist. One of these bombers never made it to the destination. At 35,000 feet over the Pacific Ocean, something went terribly wrong. What happened in those intense moments reveals just how risky this mission really was. We're about to uncover a story that connects deep strike weapons, emergency landings, and quiet power moves that even Pentagon insiders didn't see coming. March 24, 2025. The morning started like any other at Whiteman Air Force Base, but by noon, something historic was unfolding. Aviation trackers noticed 4 B-2 bombers taking off, pitch 11, pitch 12, pitch 13, and pitch 14, all heading west over the Pacific. This wasn't a drill. These bombers were heading to one of the most important military locations on Earth. Diego Garcia, a tiny island most people have never heard of, but every military planner knows it well. It's America's unsinkable aircraft carrier, perfectly placed between Asia and the Middle East, and far enough away from enemy missiles to stay safe, but close enough to strike anywhere. But then came a crisis. At cruising altitude, pitch 13 experienced a serious malfunction. Imagine piloting a $2 billion stealth bomber full of sensitive equipment over open ocean, and suddenly something fails. The crew had minutes to decide, but they stayed calm and acted fast. Pitch 13 declared an emergency and was rerouted to Joint Base Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Thanks to their skill and training, the bomber landed safely. Fire and rescue teams were waiting on the runway, unsure what they'd find, but the landing was smooth, a tribute to the professionalism of our Air Force pilots. Meanwhile, the other bombers, pitch 11, 12, and 14, continued their mission, flying past Australia with KC-135 tankers in support. This wasn't just about moving aircraft. This was a bold, deliberate display of American strength. Why Diego Garcia? Because this island is critical. It has 4 climate-controlled hangars made just for B-2 bombers, protecting their stealth coating from the tropical heat and humidity. This place is built for long-term operations in hostile environments. But here's what really made analysts sit up. 6 B-2 bombers, that's 30% of the entire U.S. fleet, deployed together. These aircraft are rarely seen in groups. They're too valuable. Only 20 exist, and usually just a few are mission-ready at any time. Sending 6 at once was a loud, clear message. And it came at a tense moment. Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen had stepped up attacks on global shipping. Iran's nuclear program was accelerating. The Middle East was a powder keg. Shortly after arriving, the B-2s went into action, striking high-value Houthi targets in Yemen. This wasn't just muscle flexing. These stealth bombers carry the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, a 30,000-pound bomb that can break through 200 feet of concrete and rock. These are bunker busters, meant for underground sites like command centers or even nuclear facilities. That raised big questions. Was this about Yemen or something bigger, like Iran's nuclear sites? Iran responded with tough talk. Supreme. Leader Ayatollah Khamenei warned of retaliation if Iran was attacked. Some generals even hinted at striking American forces first. But while the words got louder, America's actions spoke even louder. At the same time the B-2s struck, the USS Carl Vinson Carrier Group was moved closer to the region to join the USS Harry S. Truman, whose mission was extended. F-35 fighters, A-10 attack planes, and support aircraft poured into the region. This was a full-spectrum response, built for any outcome, from small strikes to all-out conflict. Behind the scenes, the effort was massive. C-17 cargo planes flew, non-stop between the U.S. and Diego Garcia, hauling specialized gear and weapons. Tanker aircraft made sure the bombers could reach targets across continents. Every piece had to move in sync. Only the U.S. military can do this on such a scale. Billions of dollars in gear, hundreds of people, moving with perfect coordination. Then came a surprise. By mid-May 2025, the Pentagon quietly announced that the B-2 bombers were heading home, taking their place, the rugged B-52 Stratofortress. These older, but still deadly bombers are built for endurance and heavy firepower. They can fly longer, carry more, and operate more cheaply than B-2s. This switch told a story. The B-2s had done their job, sending a message, hitting key targets, and forcing negotiations. Now it was time for sustained presence. The B-52s said, "We're not leaving, and we're ready for anything." Throughout this mission, one thing was clear. Professionalism and precision define the U.S. military. From emergency landings to successful strikes, to quietly influencing global politics, this deployment showed why the U.S. remains unmatched in military power. The B-2s also collected intelligence. They're equipped with advanced sensors that gather real-time data. Even when they're not striking targets, they're watching, listening, and relaying critical information. And that may have been just as important as the bombs. Because while these ghost bombers flew from the shadows, they helped shape negotiations with Iran. The mere presence of aircraft that can destroy nuclear bunkers without warning likely pushed talks in a new direction. So, what's the big picture? This mission showed the world that America can strike anywhere, anytime, with incredible speed and force. It reminded allies they're not alone, and it warned enemies, think twice before testing America's resolve. Deploying 6 B-2 bombers wasn't cheap. Each hour costs $130,000. Fuel alone cost millions. But the message delivered? Priceless. It was a lesson in modern warfare, how strength can prevent war. Because sometimes the most powerful weapon is the one you never have to use. If you're proud of our armed forces and want more stories like this, hit like and subscribe. And let us know in the comments. Type America Strong to show your support. To the brave men and women who made this mission possible, thank you. You are the reason freedom stands strong.